Good morning, students. This is your maths teacher, Santosh Kumar. Uh, Today, we are going to see how to find out uh, the inverse of a matrix when 3 cross 3 matrices are when 3 cross 3 matrix is given. Okay, and see, for a 3 cross 3 matrix, the elements will be like this: a11, a12, right? For such matrix, how to find out, what is the procedure to find out the inverse, we are going to see today. Okay, now, so this is an example of 3 cross 3 matrix, and each element will be in this form, right? So a11, a12, right, a21, a22, like this. Then this matrix, you need to make it as identity matrix. You have to convert this matrix into identity matrix, because already we have seen how to find out the inverse of a 2 cross 2 matrix, right? In the earlier videos we have seen about the how to find out the inverse of a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now we are going to find out inverse of a 3 cross 3 matrix, right? So generally in board examination they'll ask 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay, in the last examination also they asked 3 cross 3 matrices. So now what is the procedure to make this as a identity matrix? What is the procedure to make this as the identity matrix? Okay, first one, this element a11, you need to make it as 1. a11, you have to make it as 1. That is your work number 1. Next, simultaneously these two elements, you need to make it as 0. Okay, that is your work number 2. For making these two elements as 0, right, you need to make use of row 1. So that is why I am writing here row 1. Okay, so after making these two elements as 0 by using elementary transformation, right, next you have to go to this one, a22. So make this element as 1 now. Okay, so to make this element as 1, that is the third work. You can divide, suppose if this number is 5, you can divide throughout this row by 5, so that you will get 1 here. So likewise, and again this element a32, if you want to make this element as 0, you have to make this element as 0. That is work number 4. For that you need to make use of row 2, because already you made this number as 1, this element as 1. Now you need to make use of that row, right? Corresponding row element, if it is 1, you can utilize it, or else you follow the procedure. You need to make it as 0. 0 speciality is the third elementary transformation, as we discussed. Okay, so by using the third elementary transformation, you can make this as 0. That is your work number 4. Next work is you need to make this as 1. Okay, either by dividing, you can make this as 1. Okay, so after making this element as 1, and then you need to, that is your work number 5. So making this element as 1 is work number 5. Afterwards, these two elements simultaneously, you need to make it as 0. It is work number 6, step number 6, or work number 6, whatever it is. For that you need to make use of row 3, because correspondingly you can see this element is 1. So by using that element, you can make these two as 0. Okay, that is work number 6. Finally, this element you need to make it as 0. That is your work number 7. Okay, so work number 7. You need to make it as this as 0 by using row 2, because in that corresponding row element, which row element is 1, if you check, this row element will be 1, so you can make use of that. So these are the procedures for converting the given matrix into identity matrix. Okay, so what is the procedure? Once again we will see, this element you need to make it as 1. Afterwards, simultaneously make the set a formula for these two to make 0. That is work number 2. And then this element you need to make it as 1. That is work number 3. Work number 4, this element you need to make it as 0. Okay, that is work number 4. and this element you have to make it as 1. That is work number 5, right? How to make it as 1 is you can divide, as I told you. If it is 6, if this element is 6, and if you want to make here 1, you have to throughout divide by 6. Okay, throughout this row you have to divide by 6 so that it becomes 1. And then next, make these two elements as 0. That is your work number 6, and for that make use of row 3. Okay, set a formula with row 3, and last, this element as 1 you need to make, this element as 0 you have to make. That is work number 7. Okay, that is work number 7, and you can make use of row 2. Set a formula with row 2. Okay, so these are the procedures to convert the matrix into identity matrix by using elementary transformation. Okay, and then now you can see, while converting the matrix into identity matrix by using elementary transformation, if any one row or a column is completely 0, then the matrix does not have inverse. Inverse does not exist for such matrix, because for all the matrix, right, for all the matrix there is no inverse. Okay, some matrices are there which does not have inverse, like number 0 if you take, right, 0 is the inverse, right? There is no inverse for 0 in numbers. Similarly in matrices, right, certain matrices, many matrices, certain matrices only may have inverse, but few matrices will not have inverse. Okay, so while applying the elementary transformation over here in this matrix, and if you find out any one row or any one column is completely 0 in this matrix, then you have to write inverse does not exist. Okay, now we are going to see a problem, how to find out the inverse of 3x3 matrix. Okay, so the problem is this one. A is equal to 0 1 2 and 1 2 1 2 3, and then 3 1 0 3 1 0 1 2 0 1 2 1 2 3 and 3 1 0. Yeah, so as we discussed, how we have to write A is equal to IA, you have to write. For applying row transformation, you have to write A is equal to IA. For applying column transformation, A is equal to AI, you have to write. Okay, now anyway, this and all we discussed. So now A is equal to A matrix A, you have to write as it is 0 1 2 and 1 2 3 3 1 0. Okay, and the next one is I, you have to write 1 0 0, you know, identity matrix of order 2, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, and now what you have to do is, see, you need to make this element as 0, as you know about the elementary transformation, right? Shall we recall that? Three elementary transformation for what? No, rows, row method. So Ri tends to Rj and Rj tends to Ri. You can interchange any two rows in the matrix, and then Ri tends to K times Rj, Ri, in which K is not equal to 0, it is Ri. Then Ri tends to Ri plus K times Rj. Here also K is not equal to 0. So by using these three only, we are going to make this matrix as identity matrix. Okay, and the procedure I told you, you need to make this element as 1. For that, you can interchange these two rows, first row and second row. If you interchange, 1 will come over here. Okay, that is first property I am using, first elementary transformation I am using. Okay, so 1 2 3, and so I am interchanging first row and second row. Okay, and the third row is as it is 3 1 0, and whatever I do over here, same thing I have to do over here also. So 0 1 0 1 0 0. Last row is as it is, 0 0 1. Okay, and you're correct. Fine. So A is as it is. Now next, what is the procedure? What we have seen, first element, this should be 1, and remaining these two should be 0 simultaneously, I told you. Okay, that is your second work number 2, as we discussed. So now this is already a 0, so you don't want to bother about this one. So now make this element as 0. How to make this element as 0? You have to set a formula. Okay, 0 specialty, I told you, the last elementary transformation. Okay, so this element present in row 3, so you have to set a formula for row 3. Okay, so row 3 tends to, you look at this one, Ri tends to Ri. Okay, so row 3 tends to, row 3 is compulsory, you have to put plus. For making this element as 0, what we discussed is you need to make use of row 1. You need to make use of row 1. Okay, so R3 tends to, right, minus 3 times R1. You need to make use of row 1, I told you, no? So like this, you need to set a formula to make this element as 0. Now what's happening? You see here, row 3 is 3. Row 3 is 3 plus minus 3 times row 1. Corresponding row element for this one is 1. So if you multiply by minus 3, it becomes minus 3. So now these addition will become 0. Okay, so apply the formula. And see here, first row is as it is 1, 2, 3, because we didn't apply any formula. And here also first row and second row as it is, so write as it is, 0 1 0 1 0 0. Now third row, how you need to make is, first row you have to multiply by minus 3 and add with third row. So multiply by minus 3, add with this one, 0. Multiply by minus 3, add with this one. If you multiply by minus 3, it becomes minus 6, and adding with this one is minus 5. Okay, multiply by minus 3 and add with this one, minus 9. Multiply by minus 3 and add with this one, both are 0 0. Multiply by minus 3 and add with this one, minus 3. Multiply by minus 3, add with this one, 1. Okay, now you see these two elements are 0. That is your second work. Third work, this element should be 1. That also we got. Okay, it's a simple problem. This element also we got. Suppose if it is not 1, if it is some 4, right? And if you want to make 1, you have to divide by 4 by using this property. You have to divide by 4. That means k is 1 by 4 into Ri or right. Okay. And now, so this element you need to make it as 0 now. So 0 speciality, already I told you about this one. Okay, so make use of that. This element is present in row 3, so you have to start with row 3. Row 3 tends to row 3. Okay, so for making this element as 0, you need to make use of row 2, as we discussed. Okay, so multiply this by 5 into row 2, that is 5 times row 2. So if you row 2, if you multiply by 5, this will become 5, and adding with this one will become 0. Okay, this is how you have to set the formula. Okay, so now okay, understood? Anybody is having doubt? No, thank you. So first row is as it is, you can write, because we are not applying any formula. And here also first row as it is. Second row is also as it is, so 0 1 2 as it is. Second row as it is here. Third row now, what it says is row 2 you have to multiply by 5, adding with row 3. Okay, so row 2 multiply by 5, adding with row 2, 0. Multiply by 5, adding with row 3. So row 2 you have to multiply by 5, adding with row 3. So multiply by 5, adding with this one, 0. Multiplying by 5, adding with this one will become 1, because 10, 5 into 2, no, 10 minus 9. Okay, again multiply by 5, add with this one, 5. Multiply by 5, add with this one, only minus 3. Multiply by 5, add with this one. If you multiply by 5, 0. Adding with this one is 1. Okay, now So you made 1 1 1 and these 3 are 0. Now you need to, next step is making these two as 0. Simultaneously you can make. How? Look here, 3 is present in row 1, so you have to start with row 1. Now I'm going to set a formula to make this element as 0. Okay, how? R1 tends to, it is present in row 1, so row 1 tends to row 1, you have to write, right? In that, in for 3, what is the corresponding row element which is 1, that is present over here, correct? That is row 3. So you have to make use of row 3. I am saying this is easy work. So this you multiply by minus 3, that is row 3 element, you have to multiply by minus 3 and add with row 1. Okay, you able to understand? Fine. So now what you do, multiply, right? So now do it. I think you are able to understand, right? So now row 3 is, we are not applying any formula for row 3, and see what we discussed is you need to make these two as 0, I told you, but we were setting formula only for this one, right? So you have to set the formula for this element also to make 0, right? So what I'm going to do, it is present in row 2, the 2 present in row 2, so row 2 tends to row 2, and this you multiply by, tell me, yeah, minus 2, multiply by minus 2. So row 3 you multiply by minus 2 and add with row 2, so it becomes 0. Okay, so now row 1, this element, okay, and what we are, how we applied for row 1 and row 2, we are changing, right? We are changing the by using formula. So now row 3 is going to be as it is, we didn't apply any formula for any element transformation for row 3, so row 3 is going to be as it is. So now for row 1, what you have to do, row 3 you have to multiply by minus 3 and adding with row 1. So this element multiply by minus 3, add with this one. Okay, so multiply by minus 3, row 3 fully multiply by minus 3 and adding with this one. Multiply by minus 3, add with this one, only 1. Multiply by minus 3, 0, adding with this one, 2. Multiply by minus 3, so it becomes minus 3, adding with this one will become 0. Okay, multiplying by minus 3 and adding with this one, minus 15. Multiplying by minus 3, it becomes 9, adding with this one, so it becomes 10. Multiplying by minus 3 and adding with this one, minus 3. Okay, now next one is for row 2. Row 2 says what? Row 3 you have to multiply by minus 2 and adding with row 2. So row 3 you need to multiply by minus 2 and adding with row 2. So both are 0, means 0 only you'll get. So multiply this by minus 2, add with this one, same thing. Multiply by minus 2, adding with this one is 0. Okay, multiply this by minus 2, adding with this one, well, it's going to be minus 10 plus 1 is minus 9. Multiply this by minus 2, it becomes 6, adding with this one is 6. Multiply this by minus 2, adding with this one is minus 2. Okay, now see we are in the last stage now. So you need to make next this element as 0 as per the procedure what I gave, what I told you. You follow that procedure, it will be easy. Okay, there are many methods are there, but this method will be easy. Okay, and now so we are going to set formula for making this element as what? No, 0, that is present in row 1. So row 1 tends to row 1, if you start you have to write row 1, then corresponding row element for which is 1, corresponding row element which is 1, where which row is that? When you check, it is this row. Here only we have 1, it is present in row 2, so you make use of row 2. Okay, you need not by heart the full theory which I have given in the beginning. So now you multiply that by, it is present in row 2, 1 is present in row 2, so multiply this by minus 2 and adding with this one will form 0. so it is row 2. Okay, so now for second row and third row as it is, so you can fill it 0 1 0 and 0 0 1, and second row and third row as it is minus 9 6 minus 2 5 minus 3 and 1. Okay, and so what you do now is second row multiply by minus 2 and adding with the first row. So multiply by minus 2 adding with this one 1, multiplying by minus 2 and adding with this one 0. Both are 0 means 0. Multiplying by minus 2 and adding with this one, if you multiply by 18 plus this one will become 3. Okay, and multiply by minus 2, it is minus 12, plus 10 is minus 2, multiply by minus 2 it becomes 4, and adding with this one is going to be 4 minus 3 is going to be 1. Okay, now you see this matrix became what is that, identity matrix. So product of two matrices gives the identity matrix, means A's inverse is this one. So finally you have to write that. What is A inverse? You have to write. So A inverse is equal to 3 minus 2 1 and minus 9 6 minus 2 5 minus 3 and 1. Okay, I hope you have understood. Okay, so you have to follow this procedure. You have to follow as we discussed over which procedure this one. Okay, so you take a screenshot and keep this one in mind and apply over there. Okay, and nearly for about elementary transformation 3x3 matrices problem, what you have to do is nearly 10 problems you have to do. If you work out for 10 problems, if you work 10 problems, right, then only you will be able to do, right. In the first one or two problem, by trying one or two problem itself, you cannot decide that we will get the answer. Okay, it's not a easy problem. It is easy, but when you do some 10 sums only, it is going to be easy. Okay, so try some 10 problems. Okay, it will be easy, it will become easy. Okay, thank you students.